Hey, art lovies! I missed you already. The classroom sure is quiet without everybody's feet walking around in the art room. Today, we are going to make some homemade scratch art. All you need is a piece of paper. It doesn't have to be huge. This one's a little smaller than my hand. It could be a rectangle, it could be a circle, whatever you choose. You want it to be a little bit thicker paper than computer paper, but if computer paper is what you have, then computer paper will work. And you need some crayons. The more broken they are, the better, but don't break your crayons on purpose. And you'll also need something to scratch with, like a paper clip or a pencil tip or maybe a screwdriver. Play around with some ideas. But in the end, you guys can go outside, find something cool to draw, be inspired by something in nature. Can't say I found a really cool beetle that would sit still for that long, so I cheated and I looked up a picture in a book. But this leaf I did find, and anyway, made my own pretty rockin' scratch art. So let's do this together. Remember, you can stop the video or replay it at any time. Let's get started. With that white piece of paper, you either want to put something underneath so you don't get crayon all over your table, but I like to draw a little border. You can use a ruler or maybe the edge of a magazine. Be creative in what you can find as long as it's straight. Take a pencil and lightly draw. Then you'll have a tiny bit of erasing to do on the corners as well. Then start filling it in with your crayon. You want to push hard. If you have new crayons like me, use the opposite end. That way you don't dull that beautiful pointy tip. Here's one that's already mostly finished. I like to use the tip right along the edges so it stays nice and crisp. Then when I'm doing the middle stuff, I use the opposite end of the crayon. Choose whatever colors make you happiest. On one of them, I used the rainbow. On this one, I kind of just went for it with some interesting complementary or opposite colors on the color wheel. Notice there's no white spaces except for the border. Fill that in and push hard. When you're finished filling in your color, take a black crayon and you're going to push really hard. I sped this part up because it takes a little bit of time, but it's so worth it. Try to get it as black as you can. If you really like doing these, maybe experiment with a different dark color on top. I went for a little walk and found this beautiful green leaf. First, I decided to start with a pencil and lightly sketch the outline. That way, when I was ready for the paper clip, or whatever object you can find that'll scratch away, that way I didn't have to think too much when I went to do the scratching part. I love leaves because they always are just a mini version of the big tree on the inside. Hey, want to know something cool? This scratch art is better than real scratch art, because if you make an oopsie, take that black crayon, color right over it, and then you can fix your mistake. On regular scratch art, you can't do that. Feel free to add a little border or add some pizzazz to make your scratch art image stand out. Go for a little walk or hang out at the park or in your backyard. See what you can find to draw. Leaves are always a beautiful object. And if you like, you can sign the bottom just like you would in class, just like an artist. Here's my other one. That little beetly bug did not stand still for me, so I used an image out of a book. Happy creating!